All right, gentlemen, today we are making a Call of Duty game tier list. Let's have a civilized talk here with very few interruptions. I'm looking at you, Donald.
Oh, shut your trap, Obama. I only talk when your talking points are invalid and are so wrong.
You seem to think everyone is wrong except for yourself, Donald, like the world is full of idiots or something.
Coming from the sleepy idiot himself who falls on the stairs then fixing our shitty economy. I was right about everything that would happen when you took office.
Bro, why the fuck are you talking? At least I'm not getting arrested for hush money payments you gave a porn star.
Holy shit, you old buzzards need to stop arguing every fucking time we have a chat together. Obama just said to have a civilized talk during this tier list. So shut your old lips up and let's do this already.
Thank you, George. Anyway, let's not waste any more time here. The first up is the original Call of Duty trilogy. I'll say this, these games are respectable for launching the Call of Duty brand because if these games didn't sell, we wouldn't have Call of Duty at all. However, these games aren't really memorable.
Oh, come on, man. I remember playing these games on my old PlayStation and having fun throwing potatoes at targets, pretending they're grenades. That was pretty funny.
Really, Joe? That's literally all you remember from one of these games? That dementia is making you forget the real gameplay of the game.
Yeah, seriously, Joe. Anyway, Obama is right. These three games aren't really that memorable, and I don't find myself loading it up on my Xbox Series X. But I can respect them for giving us the brand itself and what it became.
But didn't Call of Duty 2 have the first Call of Duty multiplayer experience online?
Joe, I don't really think it really matters. At the end of the day, we give them respect, but I agree with George. I ain't going back to these games anytime soon when there is much better alternatives. Plus, in Call of Duty 2, there was no volume adjustment setting, so you had to play the game with loud-ass gunfire and explosions leaving your ears to bleed. I'll put them in C tier. All right, next up is Call of Duty 4.
COD 4 is a brilliant masterpiece. The campaign was absolute fire for giving us iconic characters like Captain Price, Gaz, and of course Soap McTavish. The multiplayer was the most iconic and memorable one in COD history. You can't call yourself a fan without having played this game.
For sure, Donnie. 2007 was no easy year for me during my presidency, but putting this game into my Xbox 360 was straight up fun as hell. The maps were well made and the guns were fun to use, like the M16. That gun gave kills like no tomorrow.
I agree with you guys right there. I remember getting those satisfying sniper kills on Bog. Even though the map was dark, I still had a blast with this one. This game is an easy S tier.
To be honest, guys, I didn't like this one. Feels overrated to me.
Hold the fuck up. No way your senior citizen ass just shit talk this game.
Joe, are you fucking off your meds or some shit? This game set the base for what COD multiplayer is today. How can you shit on this game that started it all for most people?
The M16 got annoying to deal with in all the lobbies I joined since it was the first gun you had before unlocking other ones, and Mile High Club was too hard for me. D tier for me.
This motherfucker is for sure off his meds. First of all, Joe, I agree the M16 was meta, but that happens in pretty much all the COD games. It gives each game character having that one gun that is remembered in that one particular game. Second of all, Mile High Club is only hard if you're playing on Veteran, you dumbass.
I highly doubt Sleepy Joe would be able to complete the first mission on Veteran. He'd probably die as soon as he's in a gunfight. This is an S tier. End of story.
Yeah, Joe, fuck what you think. This is going in S tier.
Whatever.
Okay, next up is World at War.
Oh, I bet Joe will love this one since the game's time period is set when he was like 2 or something.
Fuck you, Donald. Leave my young years out of this. Those times are long gone and hard to remember. Anyway, I do actually love this game. It's probably the best depiction of World War II in a video game ever. No other game has come close to this, I don't think.
I gotta agree with Biden there. I don't remember seeing any other World War II game that's so brutal and took major risks. They show actual footage from the war between the US and Japan to the war with the Russians and Germans. It helps set the tone for the entire game's theme and time period.
The multiplayer was fun and enjoyable, as well as giving us the iconic zombies mode we all know and love. If this game didn't happen, we wouldn't have zombies at all in Call of Duty. This game is another S tier.
You guys are so wrong. This game was a step down from COD 4. That annoying-ass MP40 that everyone spammed was annoying as fuck. And the game is just a reskin of COD 4, just with a World War II coat of paint. I'd say this game would be B tier at best.
Oh, look at Mr. Annoying Orange over here complaining about a gun.
Donald, that's a pretty shit take, to be honest. As we have said before, every COD game has that one overpowered gun people always latch onto. but you can't call this game bad because of that. People grew up with this game in the early days of the COD community. I remember going over to a friend's house and he'd hand me an Xbox controller so we can play split-screen multiplayer and zombies. This game is so memorable and plucked with nostalgia, just like COD 4, so it's an S tier, no doubt about it.
This is why I'm running in 2024, so we can fix this shitty tier list.
Okay, next up is the GOAT. Modern Warfare 2 from 2009, we can all agree this is an easy S tier.
Now you're finally speaking my language, Obama. Yet another masterpiece from the Call of Duty gods. The campaign continuing the story from Call of Duty 4, adding more great characters. Multiplayer was fun as fuck, and Spec Ops was icing on the cake.
I still cry to this day when I see Roach and Ghost getting killed by that backstabber Shepard. Also, the amount of weapons we had in each category in multiplayer trumps any other COD game in recent years.
You guys are out of your damn rockers or something? Sure, the story was good and Spec Ops was a cool co-op mode, but the multiplayer was broken as fuck. The dual-wield shotguns that killed you from a sniper range was complete buns, and explosive damage was a problem with perks like One-Man Army and Danger Close. That shit made me want to rip my hair out.
Oh, Sleepy Joe, that is what we call a skill issue. Also, what hair are you talking about? You don't have that much on your head like mine.
Joe, you're outvoted here on this one. Sure, the multiplayer was broken in terms of gameplay and weapon balance, but that's what made the game fun and memorable. Also, the maps were kick-ass.
Yeah, let's just put this game in the S tier and move on.
Man, my thoughts and opinion have to count for something on this tier list.
Joe, your opinions are invalid here, just like your presidency. Maybe don't give shit takes on games people love, and maybe they might vote for you in 2024, but don't give your hopes up.
Donald, you deadass were just making a shit take on World at War. You hypocritical orange dumbass. Either way, this game is S tier and moving on. Okay, next up is my personal favorite, Black Ops 1.
Finally, we are getting to the good Call of Duty games. The story was amazing, introducing us to new iconic characters, and it felt like a mindfuck, but in a good way in terms of story. The multiplayer was top-notch. Back in the old days, I'd use my gold AK and play game modes like gun game and sharpshooter.
Not to mention wager matches were intense as fuck. You had so many COD points saved up from playing, you'd risk gambling those in those matches. I miss the days when you earned COD points in-game rather than buying them in a store with real money.
Also, let's not forget the Zombies mode, giving us an iconic starting map, Kino, as well as the DLC season, which gave us amazing maps like Call of the Dead and Ascension. The rest of the maps are pretty mid, to be honest, but they won it back by giving us all the World at War Zombies maps with DLC 4. Such a great game, it goes in S tier, no doubt.
Glad we can all agree here on this one. Also, the music in this game slaps, like how I slapped that ass on the bed last night. S tier it goes.
Okay, next up is MW3. I gotta be honest, this game was a little disappointing for me.
Honestly, I feel the same as George. The game was just a basic reskin of MW2 with shitty colors. If you looked at both of the games side by side, there is barely any difference between them.
I agree this game was a step down from MW2, but it was not all terrible. The game was rushed in development, which explains why the game looks identical to the last one, and the menus felt the exact same as well.
You are all so wrong. This game was the ending to the original Modern Warfare games. It pretty much left nothing else to be discovered, giving it a great ending to a beloved series. This game got the best content rollout in COD history with Call of Duty Elite. We'd be getting tons of new maps, weapons, and so much more from this program. I'm surprised they never did anything like this again.
Don does have a point there. The game did get a lot of content, and it was the first game to experiment a season pass type model that would give us all these goodies. They did also beef up the Spec Ops mode with things like survival and chaos mode, but other than that, I don't think it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, I'd rather play MW2 than this game, but I wouldn't mind playing this every once in a while.
I see all your points there. We can compromise at a tier. This is not a goated game at all, but it is nowhere near a failure.
Now we are on Black Ops 2. Another masterpiece. It's probably one of the best Black Ops games in the trilogy.
No doubt about it. This game pretty much did everything right in terms of making a fun, fast-paced, arcade-like first-person shooter game. The story was solid as it gave us a branching storyline, a first for the franchise. The multiplayer was god tier, and the zombies was mid, to be honest, by only having a few good maps.
I had so much fun playing Transit with you guys back in the day. I loved going on the bus to see Ted the bus driver and just ride around the zombie town.
Seriously, Joe? You had fun on the shitty Transit map? That map was a disaster, just like your presidency. By the way, we didn't have fun with you because you kept blocking the door of the bus for us to get inside and escape. That's why your sleepy ass would always go down.
Will you shut up, man?
Joe, we have to agree with Donald here. Transit was dog shit, and the zombie community hated this map when it came out in 2012. I wish we could have had Origins, Mob of the Dead, or even Buried as a starting map, but we get this shit instead. That said, though, Black Ops 2 overall is goated, so it should go in S tier.
I have to agree with Mr. Towers over there. The Zombies mode didn't have a good start with the launch map and DLC one's Die Rise, but it eventually made its mark with the amazing maps like Mob, Origins, and Buried. The amount of YouTube clips and funny moments made with this game makes it God tier on its own. I can also say let's never play Transit again, especially with Joe.
Guys, it was the only map I owned. I didn't have the money for the DLC maps.
No wonder this old fart was only allowed to play Town and Transit. You're the fucking president, Joe. How can you not afford a $50 season pass?
Shut up, bro. I use my money for proper things that a president should do and not waste it on a fucking wall like your stupid ass. At least I released my tax returns, unlike you, Cheeto man.
At least my son isn't a crackhead.
For fuck's sake, shut up, both of you. The game goes in S tier and we move on to the next one before you guys argue like you're back at the 2020 debate stage.
Oh boy, my favorite game, Call of Duty Ghosts.
This dumbass must be sleepy or something. Did he just say this shit is his favorite?
Joe, are you serious? This was the most hated COD game when it came out. It was so bad, most people went back to play Black Ops 2 rather than this trash.
I don't know how you can really like this one, Joe. This game was the start of decline for the franchise.
All of you hold your horses, shitheads. This game is amazing for different reasons. The perk system was unique to the game and changed up how you customize your classes. It gave us a cute dog kill streak and introduced leaning. If you think about it, this game isn't all that bad as the new games are today. S tier.
I can understand your reasoning, Joe, but who the fuck actually leans in Call of Duty? This ain't Rainbow Six. However, there is a few sprinkles here and there of good, like my homie Snoop being an announcer in the multiplayer mode. There was a ton of weapons. Sounds were pretty good and beefy. The game also introduced us to the cranked game mode, and the perk system had a lot of variety.
Typical Democrat shells. They must have paid you guys like how Joe gets money from China. The progression system was whack as fuck. You didn't have to grind to get weapon attachments. All you had to do was buy them. You unlocked everything regardless of level with the squad point shit. Time to kill was super short like Joe's dick. And the grind is just miserable.
Donnie is right. The whole point of playing a game is for the grind. And if you don't have that, what's the point of playing? The field operations were unbalanced as fuck too. And the maps were too fucking big. I swear I wouldn't be able to find anyone until I got sniped with some dork using a thermal scope.
Hey, let's not forget extinction mode. That was a cool, different type of deal.
Joe, I'm surprised you didn't fall asleep playing that boring ass mode. Playing it solo was an absolute nightmare. The voice lines are fucking annoying because they repeat the same thing over and over again. And overall, it's just a sad excuse for a zombie-type mode.
Now I see what all of you are saying. This game was hated so much most people didn't bother playing it, but I don't think it's an F tier. There are still cool things like we mentioned before. Party games were fun, and the extinction mode was something new, even if it wasn't good like zombies. Let's compromise and place it in D tier.
Ah, shit. Probably the most forgettable game in here. Advanced Warfare.
Wait, that game came out?
Stupid ass Joe, this game has been out since 2014. The fact they still want $60 for this game is criminal as shit.
That can be said with most of the games, Donald. Even Black Ops 2 is still $60 on Steam. Anyway, Advanced Warfare is the most forgettable one. It's just trying to do a shitty job of copying Titanfall. And the game is just Bunny Hop Simulator 2014.
This game was pretty fun and fast. I loved getting those epic things in supply drops.
Joe, how can you like those supply drop shits? It's literally gambling for a chance to get the most overpowered weapon variants in the game, like the Obsidian Steed or the Insanity.
You're telling me the president doesn't have money for a season pass, but he has money to gamble away with supply drops? How sad.
Shut your fat ass up, Donald. Not all of us were given millions of dollars from our family like your stupid ass. All of us hard-working Americans have to work long and hard for money.
You say that even though our economy in this country is in the toilet, Joe. Anyway, Advanced Warfare was pretty forgettable and not something I would be playing anytime soon. The pay-to-win supply drops, putting exo-zombies behind a paywall, the mediocre multiplayer, and the exo-survival, which was a worse version of survival from Modern Warfare 3, This game goes in F tier.
Man, you guys don't understand perfect gaming at all.
Shut up, Sleepy Joe.
Okay, next up is Black Ops 3.
This game was probably the one and only futuristic COD game that was the best. The multiplayer was fun and fast-paced. Wall running was cool. The zombies is the best zombies experience of all time.
Yeah, the zombies was hella fun, especially with the Zombie Chronicles DLC. Seeing those classic maps remastered brought a tear of happiness from my eye.
I can agree with most of your points here, but let's not act like this game was a masterpiece. The campaign was complete trash, not even continuing the story of the first two Black Ops games. The supply drops were somehow worse than Advanced Warfare because every new weapon that came out was locked behind these little shits. Even the gobblegums from zombies are pay to win and overpowered.
I gotta agree with Trump here. The game felt so much more pay to win because they wanted you to spend tons of crypto keys or money on COD points to gamble and see if you get that new pistol or 3D printing LMG. I can't tell you how many drops I have opened after all the grinding just to get shitty clothes or a robotic arm.
The pay-to-win elements of this game were complete garbage and on full display. The story was dog shit and not worth the time solo or co-op. But other than that, the game is hella fun, especially on PC with the huge amount of modding support.
I just wish they'd fix the PC security issues so I don't always get booted off the damn game every time I play public match.
Maybe if you didn't have your Steam name as Joe Biden, people wouldn't be trying to hack your shit, you stupid dementia fuck. Anyway, I think this game should go in B tier. It's a good game, but ruined by corporate greed.
I agree, if the game didn't have pay-to-win shit and had a better campaign, this game would easily be an A or maybe even S tier, but it's going in B.
Oh yes, Infinite Warfare, another classic.
You can't tell me this man doesn't have dementia? Are you fucking kidding me, Joe?
Joe, how can you like this dog shit? The multiplayer was just a shitty reskin of Black Ops 3, but way worse, and the zombies was mid.
Hold up there, towers. I agree with you that multiplayer was trash as fuck, but the campaign was way better than Black Ops 3. And Zombies in Spaceland was an iconic starting map that was not made by Treyarch. Gotta give the game some credit here.
How can you defend trash like this, Barry? The sounds were shit, netcode was shit, color was garbage, and they brought back the variant system again from Advanced Warfare and somehow made it worse.
I mean, at least you can save up salvage and pick the variant you want instead of just gambling your keys and COD points for them. Plus, when you had the season pass, they gave you free guns right off the bat. No supply drops needed.
I agree that they made the supply drop system a little better, but having a better supply drop system doesn't mean this game is good. Zombies in Spaceland was gas and beloved by many, but the DLC maps down the road kept getting more mediocre and bland.
But the reward was for beating all the Easter eggs was way better than Black Ops 3. Instead of just giving you a better pistol at the start of the game, they gave you Director's Cut, which gave you all perks, 25,000 points, and upgraded guns in the Magic Wheel. The secret boss fight was the most fun and challenging boss fight we had in Zombies, and again the rewards were amazing. Plus, boss fight mode was the shit.
The campaign was a lot better than Black Ops 3, and the Zombies mode was given much more content in terms of rewards and modes. But since it's attached to a game with the worst multiplayer and the zombie DLC maps were either mid or trash, I have to put this in D tier.
This is all fake news. This game is an F tier and I won't stand for it.
Damn, Donnie, chill out.
Donald, you were probably one of those goofballs that disliked Bomb the trailer simply because it was another futuristic COD game. But once some of the community played it, they realized the game has its big pros and cons.
Yep, Joe is right, Donald. Exactly why I voted for him and not your fat ass back in 2020.
Fuck you, Obama. You talk shit about me all the time since you left the White House, so no surprise. Trust me, you're gonna want to vote for me next year.
Good luck doing that with all the legal trouble up your ass, Don.
Oh great, next up is COD World War II. Talk about a game that would put Sleepy Joe to sleep.
Joe, wake your old ass up.
Oh, what? Where am I?
I called it.
Joe, we are ranking COD World War II. This game is boring as fuck. The campaign is mid, multiplayer was boring and buggy, and zombies was just miserable.
The fact that people got mad at Actman for his review on this game baffles me. People saying everyone loved the game, but in reality, the game was just a boring shooter.
I don't know a single person saying this game was great because it wasn't. This was the year that Fortnite came along and pretty much dominated the gaming market at the time and left this game to be in an early grave.
Yeah, this game is such a yawn fest, and most of the maps were mediocre trash. War mode was new, but it was a shitty version of Conquest from Battlefield, and Zombies was just too scary for me, so I didn't play it.
Joe, fucking grow a pair, you old ass pussy. If you're getting scared from the zombies in a COD game, something is really wrong with you.
The zombie jump scares weren't even that scary, Joe. They were just annoying as fuck every time you went to a window or something, and the DLC maps were just pale.
Yep, no argument here. This goes in F tier. Okay, next up is Black Ops 4, the first COD game to not have a single-player campaign, by the way.
Fucking COD at it again with another reskin game. The game is just Black Ops 3 without their advanced movement. The specialists were overpowered as fuck. The shitty supply drop system from Black Ops 3 is back, and zombies was a letdown.
The graphics were somehow worse than Black Ops 3, and the only zombies maps that were good was 9, Ancient Evil and Classified.
Even if zombies and multiplayer were mid, Blackout was fun as fuck with the homies.
Don't worry, Joe, we will get to Blackout later, but for Black Ops 4, I can see the hate, but not as much as World War II or Ghosts. There's much fun to be had here in this game. Playing the bare bones playlist so you don't have to be bothered with the overpowered specialist was cool and made it feel like Black Ops 2 a bit.
I just wish the game did the same supply drop system like Infinite Warfare and COD World War II, where you'd be able to save up salvage to earn your way to get the thing you wanted. But apparently they made a shitty Fortnite store ripoff.
Besides all that, though, the game was a lot more fun than COD World War II, so we should put it in C tier.
If the game had more development time and care, this would have been great, but they pushed Treyarch hard to make a battle royale mode and remove the campaign, not to mention you needed to buy the season pass in order to get content. They got rid of DLC packs so they can get more money, those greedy shitbags.
All great points here. Black Ops 4 was bad, but not the same degree as Ghosts or COD World War II. It will go in C tier.
Now we are back on track, a game that saved a dying franchise. Modern Warfare 2019.
This game was campy as fuck. The maps were just made for a camping playstyle, and the skill-based matchmaking made me not want to keep playing.
The Spec Ops mode was broken and stupid hard at launch and took months before it was fixed. But by that time, the mode died when Warzone came out.
Despite all that, though, I think we all can agree this game saved Call of Duty. The campaign was back in action and took risks again. The game had a lot more modes and maps. The gunsmith was awesome and had the best graphics in a COD game ever.
See? Sleepy Joe gets it unlike you dummies. The movement is buttery smooth. The gunplay was amazing. And overall, people would much rather play this game than the new MW2.
That's kind of true, Donald. I'd rather play this game more than that other game, but the devs didn't really make good enough changes down the road before they moved on to the next one.
We should give this game B tier for saving the franchise, but it has plenty of issues that are still in COD games today.
Still miss those days of sniping kids with my Car 98. That gun outclassed all the snipers in that game.
Yep, those were the days, Joe, but anyway, sure, let's give it B tier.
Okay, looks like Cold War is up next, guys, and this shit is mid as fuck.
Mid? If by mid you mean awful? This game was another rushed-ass game with only 2 years of development time. The game just felt like a clone of Black Ops 3 and 4 with an 80s coat of paint. Multiplayer is a sweat fest, movement is ass, and the zombies was overshadowed once Outbreak came out.
Hold up their orange head. Even if the multiplayer was ass, the zombies mode had plenty of round-based maps before Outbreak released. Most people played zombies over multiplayer anyway, and the campaign was pretty good. I think it gets too much hate.
Gotta agree with Bush on this. This game gets too much hate from all the MW 2019 fanboys. It goes back to basics and also goes back to classic COD gameplay, but I agree the multiplayer is kinda ass.
I think zombies in the campaign were the real saving graces of this game, so we should put this in B tier.
You guys are all losers. Black Ops Cold War is trash, and you can't change my mind about it. Finally, a game that was better than shitty Cold War. COD Vanguard.
Hold up, am I hard of hearing? Did I just hear this fat ass say he likes Vanguard?
Donald, you gotta be fucking kidding me right now. Vanguard was absolutely hands down the worst COD game ever released, period.
There was not a single mode in this game that was fun or redeemable. Campaign was ass, multiplayer was ass, and zombies was god-awful. How can you like this shit?
Let me lay it down for you losers. These devs were actually taking as much feedback as possible and did some decent changes. The menus were nice and clean. We were given tons of content at launch and down the road. Also, the Snoop skin was sick as hell.
Oh my God, why the fuck are we hearing this malarkey? Vanguard sucks and everyone knows it, Donald.
Yeah, fuck your shitty thoughts, Donald. Vanguard is an easy F tier, so fuck you. Okay, next up is the new Modern Warfare 2, and I gotta say it, this game is pretty disappointing.
They nerfed the movement so hard that all people do is either camp in a building or bunny hop all over the place since they removed slide canceling.
They rushed out Warzone 2 so they could get easy money, and the player base is really low and full of nothing but try-hard assholes.
Don't get me wrong, the game is good, but such a step down from MW 2019. The post-launch content we have been getting has been the worst content ever. But since it's the newest game as of right now, we can't give it a clear ranking.
I'd expect to see a comeback in Season 4 or 5, but as of right now, in its current state, the game is kind of try-hard mediocre.
Let's put it in C tier, and we will see down the line where the game goes from here once 2023 is over.
Okay, next up is COD Mobile.
This game is something the community wants on all platforms and not just your phone. Other than that, the game is nothing more than a bot-infested playground.
This free-to-play mobile game gives out much more exciting content than a $70 game. What a fucking joke that is.
Just wait until Warzone Mobile comes out. Anyway, George is right. The game is full of bots, and also the bundles are expensive as fuck. Not to mention a lot of the supply drop crates are rigged.
No wonder I could never get that cute girl skin in the crate. It keeps giving me a stupid weapon charm.
That's a little weird, Joe. You need to touch grass or something. It's a fun game nonetheless, and the content is much more there than MW2, so we should put this game in B tier.
Hard to think that a fucking mobile game is better than a main AAA game, but that's the world we live in, unfortunately. B tier it is then. Oh, we got to pour one out for this one. Rip COD Online. This game got a bunch of amazing content and shit was fun as hell.
Joe would really like this one since he already makes money from China anyway.
Donald, for the last fucking time, I don't make a penny off China. You make all the money from there, you orange fat ass.
Just look at the fucking emails, Joe, or is your old ass not good enough to use a fucking computer?
Both of you shut the fucking hell up. God damn, you both need therapy or some shit. COD Online was really fun, and the content we were getting was amazing, from guns, maps, game modes, skins, everything.
The only problem was if you tried to play while in the United States, the ping would be god-awful, and you can't read shit off the screen since everything is in Chinese.
Sounds like a skill issue, Joe. Just get a fucking translator off the street.
Donald, that is racist and offensive as fuck. Plus, even if he did do that, he couldn't cause the game to shut down. This goes in a tier for respect and made a blueprint for COD Mobile. Okay, we got Warzone 1 up next. This shit is an absolute classic.
I remember when this came out back in 2020, and my PS4 would become a jet engine every time I play. And I also loved throwing C4 at oncoming vehicles.
That was your PS4, George? I thought you were playing while on a plane aiming for a building.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Donald.
Warzone 1 was fun as fuck, especially with friends. Sniping people in the head with the Car 98, Rebirth Island was god tier, movement was smooth, and it had a soul unlike new games.
I was smoking so many people with my M4 back in the day when that gun was the shit. I think the only problem with Warzone 1 was the Cold War and Vanguard integration, which caused the game to be broken and unbalanced as fuck.
The amount of times I fell through the map and hitting death barriers was too many to count, but this game is a classic nonetheless. Flawed, but great.
I agree to that one. I just wish they didn't take all the modes in that game just to leave us with only quads and solos and shitty Caldera.
Yeah, no question this game is going in the A tier.
Okay, I think I know what we are all thinking of Warzone 2. I'm just gonna say it, this shit is trash.
All the changes they made were so garbage, they had to update the game in Season 2 to make it feel like Warzone 1 again.
The movement is so clunky and slow that most people don't even bother moving anymore. The buy stations are put in the most faraway locations, and the loadout drop locations are trash as well.
The fact they have to take out duos to put in trios on Al Mazrah is complete ass. They pretty much went backwards on this game, and the player numbers are dropping like Joe's approval rating.
Oh, like your approval rating was any better before you left the White House, George. Fuck off.
We all agree this game is trash, but it's still got a couple more seasons to go. Hopefully we see improvement, but so far it's been disappointing.
I'll put it in D tier since the game still has more seasons to prove itself, but people are already over this game and going over to Fortnite again. All right, let's get through these quickly. Thoughts on Modern Warfare Remastered?
Nothing much to say. It's the same game from COD 4, just with better graphics.
You're half right, but this game got ruined by having those shitty supply drops yet again. I can't stand those shits.
Also, the fact they wanted you to buy the Variety map pack again for a higher price, which is a complete ripoff. And also, the game was only available if you bought the Legacy or Deluxe editions of Infinite Warfare. Not as good as the original, but not bad either.
Got to put this in B tier because I had more fun and playtime on this game than Buzz Lightyear Warfare over there.
Last up is Blackout Boys. We can all agree this is another classic.
Blackout was the blueprint and setup for Warzone 1 and for Call of Duty getting into the Battle Royale genre. It just sucks. It was attached to Black Ops 4 and you had to pay $60 to play this mode, but it was fun nonetheless.
I'd much rather play this game than fucking Warzone 2. In fact, we should play that sometime.
Sounds fun, I'd be down.
Getting to play Alcatraz again with the boys and use the overpowered VMP? That sounds like fun, hell yay.
Since we all feel good about this game mode, this is going in a tier for sure. All right, that's the whole tier list, gang.
Wow, shit, that was a lot of Call of Duty games.
Yeah, now I need to eat something. I'm hungry as fuck. I'll probably get Burger King or something.
Of course, this fat ass is hungry already and wants that trash ass food. What about you, Joe? How did you feel about this list?
Joe, you there?
Of course he fell asleep again. Typical Sleepy Joe.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Joe.
Why the fuck is Black Ops 4 in C tier, guys?
Oh shit,